You're listening to the Outer Banks This Week podcast, a place for people to hear what's going on up and down the beach and get the truth about what really goes on around the Outer Banks. So, here we go.
Yes. Thank you so much, Lexi. Outer Banks This Week podcast, episode number 90. We are 90 episodes into this podcast. I remember episode 1 just like it was yesterday. Kinda, sorta. But hey, yeah, 90 episodes deep of the Outer Banks This Week podcast, and it's all brought to you by Kelly's Automotive in Manio. It's the holiday season. Whether we want to admit it or not, the holidays are here. Thanksgiving, just a few weeks away. Yeah. It's time to start shopping. Why wait? Honestly, why wait to shop? You might as well go ahead and get it done. I've started doing a little bit of mine, but I still got a long ways to go. But who is in the market for a new vehicle? Let's say you got that wife, that boyfriend, that girlfriend, that husband, daughter looking for a new vehicle, son, whoever. You know, you could give them the gift of a vehicle from Kelly's Automotive in Manio. Check them out online at kellysobxauto.com. And Kelly Midget is the gift that keeps on giving. True story. It's a great guy. The gift that keeps on giving at Kelly's Automotive. Again, online at kellysobxauto.com. We are so well into the month of November, and it's great. I was just thinking about how pleasant of a month it's been so far. I will say that the temperatures, they're starting to trend down. We had a day of 70-degree weather just a few days ago, and I was telling my oldest son, Austin, I said, Austin, I think this is the last day of the 70s we're going to see, because I was looking at like the extended forecast, and it doesn't show any 70s in the temperatures. Looks like it's going to be highs in the mid 60s, low 60s some days, maybe highs in the upper 50s other days. Wind shifting out of the northeast, which is the prevailing wind in the off season here, and it's going to blow. That's kind of what it's doing today on the day of the recording of this podcast. It is blowing pretty solidly out of the northeast. Temperatures not too terrible, but it's not warm like it was. So we can expect downwardly trending temperatures to continue. However, one thing that I did find interesting, and now I don't know exactly what's going on out down in the Gulf of Mexico, but apparently there's another little something going on down there. I had honestly moved the Windy app off of my home screen and put it back in, like, you know, you can make like little groups of apps on your phone if you have an iPhone. I had done that. I'd taken the Windy app off. I normally keep it up during hurricane season so I can check on it periodically. But it's still hurricane season technically. It's normally, I think it's November 30th is the official last day. So I was like, we're good. I'm going to go ahead and take it off. And I took it off. And now come to find out there's something spinning around in the Gulf, and it could shoot across Florida and potentially right up the coast. Who knows? It could shoot off of Florida and just go on off in the ocean. That's what I'm praying happens. We've been fairly lucky this year when it comes to the storms here on the Outer Banks. So let's stay that way, and let's not have any storms for the rest of the year. I'd be happy with that. So anyway, so that's just something to kind of keep our eye on due to the fact that it's there. And I mean, it's just worth mentioning. If you go to Mike's weather page on Facebook, dude does a fantastic job of keeping you up to speed with all that stuff. So super cool Facebook page to check out. But other than that, I mean, hey, it's been rather pleasant. The only other thing that I can think of that's just not great is, like, I think they said something like over half of the country is in a drought right now. We're in that half. We're in the half of the country that has a drought. I was talking to my dad the other day, and he was telling me, he's like, Justin, we haven't had rain in over 30 days. Like, not like, when I say that, I mean, they gauge how much rain, like 1/100th of an inch is considered adequate rainfall to get rid of a drought, I guess, or maybe it's adequate enough rainfall to consider having had rain or a substantial amount. Anyway, 1/100th of an inch, and we haven't even had that in over 30 days. We're due. We're very much due, just like over half of the rest of the country is due. We're in that drought condition. I was kind of running my mower over my yard the other day just to kind of get some of the leaves pushed off and, that sort of thing. And dust was just being kicked up all over the place. It's like Luke Bryan has that song, Kick the Dust Up, and that's basically what it felt like. So we could use some rain. Temperatures are cooling off. It's finally starting to feel like fall around here. And Thanksgiving is right around the corner. And my goodness, am I looking forward to that. I was taking a look just the other day. Now, I talked about what the captain's table is having on their menu at Thanksgiving. Now, we're going to kind of tell you, if I can pull it up real quick. Let's see. We're going to type in Cafe Pamlico. I saw their menu just the other day, and it looked divine. So let me see if I can pull that up real quick, like on my computer. There it is. You go to Outer Banks this week. You can go to the Cafe Pamlico marketing interface, and you can see what they have coming up. So let's see. We click on menus. Just a little, let's see. Coming up, I see that they have, that's their regular menu. I need to see what they have by way. I have to click on the events section. Let's see, coming up, there's that bourbon dinner. Thanksgiving dinner at Cafe Pamlico on Thanksgiving. See if I can pull that menu up, make it a little bit bigger. There we go. All right. You can get you a Caesar salad, an autumn Caesar salad to start, or a harvest quinoa salad. I can't even pronounce this stuff, but it looks pretty good with everything in it. Mixed greens, Granny Smith apples, candied walnuts, roasted butternut squash. This is all part of the salad. You can get starters like sweet potato crab bisque. Now that sounds really good. Shrimp and crab deviled eggs, cafe oysters, baked brie. These are all starters here, okay? Roasted butternut and lardon Brussels. Is that what that says? I can't read it. Lardon, I'm pretty sure that's what it says. The different entrees, like you can get the oven roasted turkey breast, southern style ham, shrimp and scallop grits, fresh catch, whatever they have that day, the market price, crab cakes, filet of beef, autumn harvest risotto, or you can get some different things a la carte, like they got garlic collard greens, citrus sweet potato and pecan crumble, parsnip and potato mash, and crab mac and cheese. All things that you can get at part of your entree for Thanksgiving at Cafe Pamlico. They got all the prices listed up there. You can go online to outerbanksthisweek.com, see this entire menu as I just read it off to you. You can go check it out. Under the events, go to Thanksgiving Day, and you'll see it right then and there. It says Thanksgiving dinner at Cafe Pamlico. Sounds delicious. I suggest, if you don't have any plans, make your reservations to go to the Cafe Pamlico in Buxton. All right, coming up in this episode of the podcast, going to take a little trip. I already took the trip, so I'm going to just kind of play it back for you. I went down to Teach's Lair Marina on Veterans Day, and I did my podcast from there. I spoke with Victoria. I call her Princess Victoria because she is the owner and operator of Queen Anne's Boutique and one of the managers of the marina itself. Her brother, Aaron, who is kind of like the top dog around there, Aaron decided that he was going to go work on his golf swing, and he was too cool for us. So, hey, it's what it is, but I still love Aaron anyway. That's my boy. But we talked to Victoria. We talked to Lee Scarborough in the tackle shop. You know how much I love my guy, Lee. And then we had Mr. Tyler from Toucana, the food truck, come in and talk to me. So we're going to play that back for you here in just a few moments. But I was just trying to think if there's anything newsworthy. Not that I can really think of. Nothing that's really jumping off the page at me. Of course, you know, we don't talk politics here on the podcast. There's lots of things we could say in that regard, but we're just not, because that's not what we do here at Outer Banks this week. So any other news, go to samwalkerobxnews.com. You got questions about the news, Sam Walker is the answer. The Grand Slam, Sam Walker, as I like to call him, it's samwalkerobxnews.com. Hey, I want to thank Miss Elizabeth Silverthorne from the Beach Food Pantry coming in and talking to us about the Chef's Challenge. It's coming up here very soon. It's this coming weekend, and I'll talk more about that in just a little bit, but I appreciate her kind of giving us a rundown of the operations, the inner workings of the Beach Food Pantry, and how they support the community and what they do to give back, and how you can give to them. So if you haven't listened to episode 89 of the podcast, go take a listen to hear about the Beach Food Pantry and how you can be a supporter of them. Captain Marty, oh gosh, if you haven't listened to a Captain Marty Fishing Report, you are missing out. His stories, Captain Marty's Fishing Reports, all of them online at outerbanksthisweek.com. He's back. He's doing them 3 days a week now, the Fishing Reports, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. His stories are coming out on Saturdays, and we're just churning them out. I think that in the near future, we're getting still working out the kinks. I know I've said this 1,000 times for his Saturday show. Hopefully we get that fine-tuned in the very near future, but I will say that Marty is the gift that keeps on giving. Give people the gift of Captain Marty this holiday season. How are you going to do that? You can just, sign him up. Subscribe to his channels on all your major podcast platforms. That's how you can do it. It doesn't cost you a dime, and people will be thankful that you did it. Look at that. I just helped you get a Christmas present for someone. The gift of Captain Marty. He is the gift that keeps on giving. We love us some Captain Marty here at Outer Banks this week. All right, we're going to take us a quick little break. I want to jump into some shout-outs, but before we do... Hey, you looking for that perfect gift for that lovely lady or for that guy in your life? You can check out Silver Bonsai Gallery on Highway 64 in Manio. And if you're looking to get electrified, you can check out ELS OBX. Electricity, something I don't mix well with at all, and that's why I only trust the folks at ELS OBX. ELS OBX offers a variety of services from custom electrical installations to lighting design. ELS OBX has the experience and know-how to complete any job. They're committed to providing the highest quality lighting and electrical installations or service at affordable prices. Visit them online at elsobx.com to get a brighter idea of how shockingly awesome they are. See what I did there? ELS OBX, electrical and lighting solutions you can count on.
Hello, this is Catherine of the Silver Bonsai Gallery in Manio, North Carolina. My husband Ben and I would like to welcome you to explore our stunning collection of handmade treasures. Over the past 26 years, we have gathered a fantastic collection of art, jewelry, unique gifts, and more for every occasion. Enjoy a glimpse into our modern heirloom goldsmithing studio, where we create daily to keep our cases full of beautifully crafted silver, gold, and platinum jewelry. See the art of hand engraving and masterful goldsmithing techniques in action as you view our collections of ceramic, woodwork, metalwork, and more. And why wait? Visit us online at silverbonsai.com to see more right away. And of course, we will look forward to seeing you in person soon at Silver Bonsai on Manio's main highway.
Yes, Kat and Ben over at Silver Bonsai Gallery on Highway 64 in Manio. Fantastic folks. Very well-known, world-renowned jewelers. They can get you all squared away. It's a great place to go do some of that holiday shopping that you're looking to do. Trying to find that special painting, a bonsai tree, maybe a piece of jewelry. You can do it over at Silver Bonsai on Highway 64 in Manio when you first come into town. All right, we're going to jump into some shout-outs. And again, please, if you want a shout-out, somebody worthy of a shout-out, send me an email. Let me know. Podcast at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. First shout out I want to give is to my parents, Mitchell and Connie Bateman of Wanchese. Yes, indeed. They are celebrating, I think, 48 years of marriage. I think that number is correct. 48 years married, November the 14th. So, and that is that's the release date of this podcast. Yeah. So happy anniversary to Mom and Dad. I appreciate you very much. Very thankful for you because, I'm going to tell you the truth. There's a lot of things I would not be able to do if my parents did not help me along the way. There's a lot of stuff, especially with my kids. My gosh, every time I turn around, my mom's got one of them or the other one. It's just how it is, but they're thankful to have them. My dad's glad to have his grandbabies around all the time. So, happy anniversary, Mom and Dad. Love you very much. Also want to shout out to all the Dare County High School's men's soccer programs. Now, they've all advanced in the state playoffs. Where they are right now, I know there's been some games played. I don't know the results just yet because the time of this podcast recording, it just hadn't happened. But, hey, they made it all. Each one of them, Cape Hatteras High School, First Flight High School, and Manio High School have all made it to the state playoffs. They've all passed the first round of state playoffs. I'm pretty sure, if I read correctly, First Flight High School's men's soccer program was seeded number 1 in the eastern part of the state for 3A schools in North Carolina. So that's pretty high. That's pretty good. They won the state tournament, I believe, last year it was. I think they're on course to do it again. Have a little back-to-back. That'd be pretty awesome. Hey, bringing some recognition to the Outer Banks. So y'all go get them, kick the ball hard, score lots of goals, and play good defense. I was never a soccer guy, but hey, look, I think what you guys are doing are great, and I look forward to the success that y'all are going to have. So keep going, guys. Keep going. Go get them. And I want to shout out to the Dare County SPCA. My friend Leanne Saunders works over there. They do a fantastic job of keeping the pets and maintaining things over there, and Just the animal control department's great. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to them as well. And I will be having you all on the podcast very soon. I promise. I'm just trying to find gaps in my calendar to where I can make it work, but I promise that will happen. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to bring on Victoria, Lee, and Tyler from Teaches Lair Marina.
Back by popular demand, the Dare Education Foundation Dueling Pianos signature event, presented by Town Bank, Friday, January 31st from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at 108 Budley in downtown Manio.
Dance the night away to the New York Dueling Pianos while supporting Dare County Schools.
With a live auction and buy it now auction, fantastic food, and tasty beverages, this is guaranteed to be the party to start the year off the right way.
Get your tickets now at dareeducationfoundation.org. All money raised goes back to our teachers and kids.
It's a ton of fun for a great cause on Friday, January 31st at the Dare Education Foundation's Dueling Pianos signature event.
Ride the Wind has been the surf shop on Ocracoke Island since 1985. With more than 300 brands and counting, Ride the Wind has the largest selection of sunglasses, surf apparel, Ocracoke apparel, footwear, and jewelry on the island. If you're looking to get out on the water, you can rent a kayak, surfboard, paddleboard, skimboard, or bodyboard. If you're looking for a unique Ocracoke experience, you can rent one of our high-end priority beach cruisers, or you can book a kayak history eco tour, surf lesson, or sup yoga session. For more information or to see their live Ocracoke webcam, go online at surfocracoke.com. Ride the Wind, Ocracoke Island's top surf shop for over 39 years.
All right, down here at Teaches Lair Marina, right next to the ferry dock. We're about as far south as you can go without getting on the ferry, minus the graveyard of the Atlantic Museum and Ramp 55. Down here at Teaches Lair, beautiful location, beautiful place. We've got Hatteras Soul right over yonder. We got all the boats. We've got, there's just a lot going on here. And, why not come down here and do a podcast? It's kind of what I was thinking. I needed to do one. I've been hanging out down here for the better part of 10 years. And, Aaron decided he was too cool for school today. So that's okay, because we got the cooler one here. This is Victoria sitting next to me. Victoria, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I am wonderful because I'm in Hatteras Village. I'll tell you, I've always said that if somebody were to come to Wanchese and try to tell me that I had to leave, first of all, I'd probably fight. But then it was like, I'm not ready to die yet. So it's like one of those things where it's like, if I had to go somewhere, they're like, you got to get out of Wanchese. I'm coming to Hatteras Village. Beautiful area, beautiful people, wonderful folks. How do you feel about Hatteras Village?
I love Hatteras Village. It's the best.
Absolutely. So Teaches Lair Marina, been here for quite a while. And a history of excellence when it comes to offshore fishing, nearshore fishing. There's not much y'all don't offer by way of getting people out on the water.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah. We've got, we have inshore and offshore charters available. We've got charters that have been running for decades at this point. We've got a lot of great captains that are always itching to get people out there.
Okay. All right. Now, let me ask you this. And we're going to come back to them and how we can get booked with them. What if I decide that I'm going to buy my own boat? I want to be my own captain, and I want to put my boat in the water. Mm-hmm. Can I do it here? Or I'm getting a funny look from a gentleman we're going to talk to in just a few moments named Lee Scarborough. He turned and kind of gave me that. Yeah, he's a good-looking guy. I'm looking at him right now. Even with his funny look, he's a good-looking guy. But irregardless, I know it's not a word, Lee. I know. I did that on purpose. But if I wanted to put my boat in the water over here, I see it's something that kind of slopes down, like you could just, like it slopes down into the water. Is that something I could do?
Yes. Yep. We've got a ramp. You can launch your own boat yourself. It's a $10 launch fee. You can do that pretty much any time of day and just check in with us. We'll get you set up.
Okay. Now, is there a spot for me to park my truck after I launch with my trailer and everything?
Yes, we do have trailer parking. We've got ample space across the street and extra overflow space out back as well.
Oh, wow.
We pretty much got you covered.
Got it covered. Okay. Now, let me ask you this. You come inside the front doors of Teaches Lair Marina, and I'm seeing all these clothes. And I remember there was a former employee of yours. Her name was Miss Pat. A little tip of the cap to Miss Pat real quick. I love her so much. I miss her a lot. She was a lot of fun, but she used to call it Aaron's Boutique. Now, we're going to talk boutique here in just a few moments, but you got a lot of clothes here, too. I mean, there's no reason why you can't leave out of here with something Teaches related. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, we've got our T-shirts, jackets, all kinds of Teaches Lair gear, and then we've got other brands, fishing, surf brands as well, like AFCO, Salty Crew, Marshwear. We've got a lot of really good stuff all year round.
Okay, so yeah, all season gear all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I meant to ask you before we even really dug deep into, before we even really dug deep into this podcast, Teaches Lair. Now, are you like teaching people things? Like, where did the name Teaches Lair come from? Like, is it like a bunch of teachers came down here and they created their own lair? I'm confused.
So Teaches Lair is based on Edward Teach, which is Blackbeard.
Wow.
Wow. Yes.
Wow.
So this being one of the many areas that was his stomping grounds, we kind of went off with that. And so this is Teaches Lair.
Okay.
Very popular.
I was kind of confused. You know, when I first heard the name, you know, the business Teaches Lair, I'm like, I guess a lot of teachers really went down there and just, no, I know what it meant. I just had to hear it in Princess Victoria's own words. And why did I just call her Princess Victoria? Because above Teaches Lair is another space that is called Queen Anne's Boutique, which is your baby.
Yes.
Yes. Now tell me about Queen Anne's Boutique. We did a video for it not long ago. You can find it on the Outer Banks This Week Facebook page. You can go look under our reels and it's down there. You can click on it and watch it. But tell me a little bit more about Queen Anne's Boutique.
Yeah, so Queen Anne's Boutique is really, it's all part of Teaches Lair, and it's just an extension of the rest of the store, but it is a boutique and wine bar. It's geared more towards the women that come through. You can get beer, wine, mimosas upstairs while you shop. There's a lot of cute clothes and gifts and jewelry and things like that up there. We are getting ready to shut it down for the season.
Okay.
Friday the 16th, we're doing a big clearance party. We're going to pair up with Toucana Grill.
Oh, yes. Tyler from Toucana. Yes.
Yeah. So he's going to do some really great food pairings for us. We're going to have a bunch of wine samples for people to try. And we are currently selling tickets. We have a handful left. That you can actually purchase online, and you can buy them at the door as well. But yeah, we're basically going to try to clear out all of our inventory for the season while we shut down. Everything's going to be 40 to 60% off.
Wow.
Wines are going to be 20 to 25% off. Basically, everything's going to be pretty much cost.
So let's do a quick little correction there. Friday is the 15th.
Then it's the Friday the 15th.
Friday the 15th. I wanted to make sure we clarify because I was like, I think Friday's the 15th. That's why I grabbed my phone and just kind of checked real quick. I wanted to make sure that we got that part nailed down just right. So that's going to be going on Friday. And now, will you host parties per se? Like, let's say I wanted to have a lingerie party up there. Well, maybe not that. Okay,
maybe not lingerie.
No. All right, bad example. But let's say like somebody wanted to have like a baby shower, or something. You would do that?
Yeah,
you would host
definitely.
that?
Yeah. We've kind of put that out there as an option as well. So like baby showers, bachelorettes, birthday parties, something like that. For small groups, it is a small space, so it can't accommodate a ton of people. But definitely like 20 to 25 people easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And people you can shop while you're partying.
Yeah.
I love it. So these are all pieces, and this is all kind of what makes Teaches Lair is magical, as I like to, as it is. I mean, so many different pieces to it. It's not just you look at it and you're like, it's just a marina, Teaches Lair Marina. No. There's the marina. You've got the tackle shop, which we're going to talk to Lee in just a few moments about. You've got Toucana, Mr. Tyler outside. You said he's going to be catering your event for you. We're going to talk to him in a little bit. I hate that Aaron didn't make an appearance today. I guess his golf swing's a little bit more. I mean, is he any good at golf, though?
He's all right, I guess.
He's okay?
I hear he's actually pretty good.
You know, I told him last week, I was coming down, and he's like, man, I think I got something to do that day. He's like, I really don't remember what it is. Like, I felt like he was being honest with me. And I asked him, I was like, and he's like, dude, I think it's probably just because you had said you were coming down here and doing a podcast. And then I texted him this morning, and I'm like, Aaron, I'm on my way. And he sends me back a picture of a man with a golf swing. And it's like, You jerk.
Yep.
But I still love you. I do. I do. Anyway, Victoria, I'm not going to torture you anymore. If people wanted to see the boutique, people wanted to see the marina, people wanted to book a charter, you know, I mean, you might want to start thinking about doing these kinds of things now, being the fall, winter time coming up for next year. How can they see all of it in its entirety?
Definitely. So, yeah, obviously, come on into the store. We've got everything here, charters, shopping, tackle shop, the boutique, all of that. You can also book your charters online, speaking of booking them. So you can come in and you can book them through us. You can book them directly with captains. And as of this year, you can book charters online, which has been a big help to us and adds convenience anyway.
What's that website?
So you can go to teacheslair.com
Okay.
or hatterslanding.com. They come up as the same thing. And then you'll see an option to book a Teach's charter online. And there are still charters running through the winter, too. So it's definitely worth looking into.
I wonder if my guy, oh, shoot, I just drew a blank on his name. I just did. Totally. Back bar.
Back bar, Will Smith.
Will Smith.
How can
I forget Will Smith? Dude, I was just seriously like, Will Smith. And like, it was in my head, and then I said back bar in my head, and then his name just went right away. It's like, dude, I know my guy. I promise I know my guy. Because like, for the longest time, I called him Black Bart. And because that's what I thought Miss Pat was saying when she would do fishing reports when I was on the radio. So on the radio, I'd call him Black Bart. And then I met him. He's like, yeah, man, name my boat's Back Bar. And I'm like, dude, please don't beat me up. I'm sorry about that. So anyway, yeah, but there's different charters, as Victoria was saying, that are going on through the winter time. I mean, the bluefin will show up at some point. Lots of fun to still be had down here at Teach's Lair, even in the winter, because you don't close.
Correct.
Your hours might be different in the winter than it is in the summer, but
Yeah, really not that much difference either. I mean, we're still in the winter 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So.
And you're there in the gas station in Hatteras Village.
That's right.
So if you need gas, get it here.
You're coming here.
You're coming here. When you're getting off the ferry, you're getting on the ferry. It's the last place to get gas before you get on and off or even in the village itself. So, well, Princess Victoria, thank you for giving me a few moments of your time. I'm going to get Lee over here on the podcast. I'm going to get old Tyler from Toucana on here in just a few moments as well. But hey, thank you so much. So much.
Sure. Thank you.
All right, sitting here now with, somebody that really doesn't need much of an introduction, honestly. He's been on the podcast before. He was our inshore beach fishing, pier fishing expert back in the day when we did a little fishing podcast. We did a little series of fishing. This is the man that runs the show, the inner workings of the tackle shop here at Teach's Lair Marina. He does a lot of other things, too. But I'm talking about Mr. Lee Scarborough. Lee, dude, so glad to see you today, man. You look good today, man. Look at you.
Thank you.
I was just tickled to death. I walked in the door, Lee was sitting right here. I was like, that's exactly what I need to put Lee on the podcast one more time. It may not be the last time either, Lee. May not be.
Yeah, I know. It's all good.
All right, Lee. So talk to me a little bit about some of the things that go on here at the tackle shop. I see like spools of line over there. I see what appears to be like rods laying on this thing that spins them, and you can heat them up and do funny things. What do they call it? Wrapping the rods or whatever. Like what goes on here inside the tackle shop at Teach's Lair Marina?
Well, we have everything in here to, try to have what you need and not a lot of the stuff that you don't necessarily need.
Okay.
If that makes sense. With my spacing being small, I've got to be careful on what I put in and everything. But we spool reels up. I build rods here, which I also build rods at my house. We do rod repairs, whether it's a simple tip. I do replace a lot of tips, especially for the inshore guides, or replacing a guide, which takes a little more time.
Okay.
That would be where you'd be wrapping the guide on with thread.
Right. Okay.
And of course, we sell bait. We got frozen bait, squid, shrimp, mullet, ballyhoos.
Okay. I see something that says chicken necks over there.
Yeah, that's for crabbing.
Crabbing. So you can go crabbing with that's the bait that they use is chicken necks?
Yeah, it's cheap.
Cheap?
It's cheaper than
the crabs love
bait.
it.
Well, I don't know much about crabbing.
Okay.
Personally.
Well, I've seen those little mini crab traps that people use, and they stick those. That's what they put in the crab traps.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, some people will use some other stuff, but I mean, when you're talking about what is it, $2.99 for a package of that versus using like mullet or something like that, where if you buy it fresh, it's $3.99 a pound. So it's just a little bit cheaper of an option.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the different lures and the different things that you have in here for people to go fishing with. Because I see you've got reels that you could outfit people with. Somebody looking for a brand new reel, you can help them out with that. Of course, you've got different rods and everything like that. I believe I saw a clam rake somewhere.
I do have some clam rakes back over here. I normally try to have a few in stock. Sand flea rakes. Is probably what you were seeing.
Maybe that's probably what I saw. I know I
sell a lot of those.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things you can get people rigged up. So let's say, all right, we're going to put you in a situation, Lee. I'm coming in here. I'm going fishing. You know, Lee, I've heard that there is a crazy drum bite going on at the point right now. Crazy. I mean, every cast people are catching them. But you know what? I don't know what I'm supposed to use. Well, do you have what I need here?
Yeah, it does get specific as far as the tackle goes. When it comes to the rod and reel, you have obviously your options when it comes to a conventional bait casting setup, and then your spinning setup.
Okay.
Typically, you're going to be put into that 12-foot rod.
12-foot rod.
In that scenario, because out at the point, typically when those fish are biting there, you have current, and 8 ounces is moving, and you've got to be able to throw 8 ounces. Sometimes you get away with 7 ounces, but you kind of want to stay with it. When you get a bunch of people and everything, you kind of want to move at the same rate as each other.
Right, okay.
And, well, that's the typical conditions whenever they really do bite. And, so I have rods for that, reels for that, and then, of course, we tie all of our drum rigs here that we sell.
So you got drum rigs out here that you could for sale that you would suggest, hey, you're going to want to take this with you.
Yes, yep.
Got it.
Some people call it a fish finder rig. Down here, they're referred to as a drum rig. I think that would be all over the Outer Banks for sure.
Okay.
And it's the sinker slides up and down the line. It's pretty simple. I've seen different versions, but the standard fish finder rig, who knows how long that's been around? I don't know, but it works.
Okay.
And if it didn't break, why fix it?
All right. The drum are gone now, Lee. You caught them all. Those of you that don't know, I call Lee the Red Drum Jedi. He can smell the drum. He has this like sixth sense of like, he'll walk out on the beach and just kind of look around and be like, they're over there. And you won't even know. I mean, the water looks the same over here as it does over there and as it does elsewhere. And he'll be like, they're over there. And you're like, okay. And you go over there and he'll put you right in the thick of them now. So Lee is the Red Drum Jedi. So that's why I asked him about the drum first. But Lee, the drum are gone. You caught them all. And they're like, man, this Lee guy's just slayed us. We need to get out of here. Now, the bluefish have showed up. Okay? How do I go about getting a bluefish? What type of lure, bait, whatever would I use to catch bluefish?
So you got a couple different options depending on how thick they are. If you see them boiling on the surface and everything, I have what their glass minnows is actually what they're called, kind of similar to a sting silver.
Okay.
But it's its own brand. Under the TV over here, and I've got them. They're a little shy of 2 ounces. The ones that you mainly use from the surf. I have some smaller ones that the inshore guys will use for throwing on their lighter rods.
Okay. Now is that like a single hook, a treble hook?
All the bigger ones have a treble.
Okay.
I do have some of the smaller ones with single hooks for those inshore guys because they do work better for getting the bluefish off.
Now bluefish have pretty particular set of teeth.
They've got teeth and they have some jaw strength.
Okay.
Back when I was young and the big blues would show up around this time of year, Thanksgiving and throughout the winter, those things, they would chomp down on a gator spoon or a Hopkins and you couldn't get their mouth open. You'd have to try to pry their mouth open.
Oh, wow.
So they're like a vice grip. You don't want to get especially in one of those 12-pounders or something like that, you don't want your fingers in there.
No. That would be where you would probably need like a pair of pliers to,
long needle nose.
Long needle nose pliers.
And there's actually this fall, there's been right many of that bigger class of bluefish around, both in the sound and some days on the beach that we haven't seen in years. I had a person about a month ago ask me about gator spoons, and I was like, I didn't have any in stock. And I looked at him, I was like, I probably haven't thought of a gator spoon or crocodile spoon in over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 20 years, because back when we had the stripers, we'd throw those for them.
Oh, yeah.
That's been a while, too.
You still have a good stretch 20 or stretch 25 or a stretch 30 for a striper now.
Well, that's trolling.
Yeah, that's when I'm trolling behind the boat. That's right.
I never caught any in the boat. Caught a pile off the beach.
All right, Lee. I just bought a brand spanking new Bayless 67-footer, and I'm ready to go offshore, and I ain't got nothing to go offshore with.
Okay, you need me to build you a whole stand of rods?
Yeah, so now do you have the technology to do that? Or I see some island lures over
Oh, yeah,
yonder.
I've got a big old wall of island lures, and I need to make orders probably this winter, but it's standard colors, and then I do a lot of custom colors.
Okay.
I sit down and I start thinking and come up with some stuff, and I get some suggestions from some of the charter guys down here, something they want or whatnot. And so
Okay.
I've had fun with it whenever I've put it together. The first year I sat down, I don't remember how many different pages of stuff I had. I was like, there's no way I can order this much. But I try to have a good selection as far as that goes.
Okay. All right. Now, I'm just trying to go sit off the beach. I'm going to put some lines in the water, but I don't have anything to keep my Pepsi Cola cold in. Have you got some cool? I see some coolers up there. You got ice and everything here, too?
Oh, yeah. We've got ice out back here. I got ice out front.
Okay.
And we got, I normally have some styrofoam coolers for the guys that come in from the inshore trips and don't have big enough cooler for their fish. And then I try to keep a selection of some small coolers and coolers in here generally.
All right, now I see these people walking around with like fancy sunglasses and stuff like that, Costa del something or other, or Bandejo, whatever. Bahio, something or other. I see some sunglasses over there.
Yeah, back here I have your cheaper options, but Aaron has the Bahios up front.
Okay.
I think he has some that are middle of the road too. I can't remember what the brand is.
But
honestly,
for somebody like me that, probably going to bang them up pretty good.
I got
you
the
got sea strikers
and Calcuttas.
Okay.
Which are fine for you and kids.
Me and kids. Thanks, Lee. Thanks, Lee. So I guess the moral of this story is if you're coming fishing down here in Hatteras, you come by Teach's Lair, come by the tackle shop, say hey to Lee. He's not going to give you something he doesn't think. He's not going to try to sell you something that he doesn't believe is going to work for you or that you're not going to use or that's not going to produce, some fish. He's going to show you what's going to be best for that day. So, if you've already got your rod and reels and everything, you got all that stuff and hey, Lee, what's biting right now? Give me a good little fishing report. Lee's going to tell you, well, I'm back in the sound, they're doing this. Off the beach, they're doing that. Well, I'm going off the beach. Well, here's what you're going to need to catch this, that, and the other off the beach, depending on what time of the year it is. So that's kind of the moral of it, in my opinion, is Lee's not going to try to give you something that you don't need. Now,
Nope.
That's just, and the guy's got years and years and years behind him, fishing on the Outer Banks and specifically down here in Hatteras. So, the man knows what he's talking about. Heck, in his off time, when he's not at Teach's Lair, you can probably find him on a boat called the Outlaw offshore as a mate for Ken Miller and Company. Is that accurate?
That's very
or
accurate.
Either that or, what is this thing sitting down there? I saw this what did they say in Forrest? He had him a guitar case. What is it? It's not exactly a guitar case, but what is it?
It's a mandolin.
A mandolin. So you played a mandolin, Lee.
Yeah, I've been playing about 4 years.
You want to do a little picking and grinning for us right now?
Nah, it's
okay.
all right.
Lee, I appreciate you giving me a few minutes to talk about the tackle shop here at Teach's Lair, and I'm going to get Mr. Toucana. I keep screwing that up. Toucana Tyler to join me here in just a few moments, but I do appreciate you giving me some time to talk about the tackle shop. And just to say it, man, it's always good to see you, Lee.
It's good to see you too, brother.
I appreciate the heck out of you, man. Thanks a lot, dude.
Yes, sir.
All right, down here at Teach's Lair Marina, and right outside of Teach's Lair Marina in Hatteras Village is a food truck called Toucana. Did I say it right? I messed it up, didn't I?
Yeah, you said it right.
I said it right. I got Mr. Tyler here from Toucana, the food truck right outside. Mr. Tyler, how are you today, my friend?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I figured doing a podcast down here at Teach's Lair, you got to include all areas of Teach's. I mean, we've got boat slips out here. You can go fishing, you can charter a boat, you can launch your boat, you can come to the tackle shop, and you can get rigged up. You can go to Aaron's Boutique. You can go to Queen Anne's Boutique, but you can also get yourself something to eat after the boutique. I was trying to make that rhyme, and it didn't work very well.
You did great.
Okay. So talk to me, Mr. Tyler. How long have you been in the culinary arts?
Well, I started at this little restaurant in Avon called the Mad Crabber, washing dishes.
Okay.
And that's when I kind of figured out this was something I wanted to do. After that, I worked at a restaurant down here in Hatteras Village called Breakwater.
Okay, Breakwater.
And I spent 2 summers there before ultimately deciding I wanted to go to culinary school. And after that, I went to community college down in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Okay.
And spent 7 years down there cooking in different restaurants and working on my degree, which, took a little bit longer than I anticipated to get.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, but I stuck with it and got it. And once I was a little bit over the whole scene in Wilmington cooking down there, that's when I kind of packed up and left and went and lived in Los Angeles.
Oh, so you went to L.A. for a little while.
Yeah, I was
Cool.
there for
I didn't know
almost
that.
6 years. Worked in a few really nice restaurants out there. Started this Toucana thing as a pop-up.
Okay.
I would basically do events out in the back of my car or on the side of the road or at, bars or restaurants that had a vacant space in LA.
Okay.
So then after I kind of got a good grip on how that all worked, I came back here for a trip last summer and we did one at the Inn on Pamlico Sound.
Very nice spot. Spot. I love the Inn on the Pamlico Sound. And Cafe Pamlico. Fantastic folks there, too.
Very grateful for them and, the opportunities they gave me. I had a really successful pop-up there. So after that happened, I met with some folks, and we talked about this food truck and what we would do with it, and if I was interested in it.
Okay.
And I said yes, and so now here we are.
I got you. So this pop-up that you did at Cafe Pamlico and Inn on the Pamlico Sound, that wasn't too terribly long ago, was it? A year or so ago, maybe?
It was last June.
Last June, because I remember, Tasha's a friend of mine over there, and Tasha, I remember her telling me about you and the pop-up that you were going to be doing, and I tried to promote it a little bit for her because they advertise on the podcast and everything like that, and so I tried to really push and promote that for her and for you, obviously. And now, look, you've got a food truck. How long have you been set up outside of Teach's Lair Marina?
So we set that up early on in the spring this year, but we didn't actually get open until June 3rd because, we had to jump through a lot of hoops to finally get the opening permit. And I think we actually got the opening permit May 30th or something like that.
Right.
And as soon as that happened, I could order food from the vendor that we purchased food from. And I was in business in 4 days.
That is awesome. That is actually really cool that you were able to get bing, bang, boom, just like that, man.
It was kind of a wake-up call when we first, once we got the opening permit, the investors, who I'm very grateful for, they said, go for it.
Go for it.
And, what's today?
Today would be the 11th day of November.
And we're still open this far into the season.
Okay, so what are your hours currently?
This first year has been kind of a learning experience for all of us. We've pretty much hit every hour of the clock. We've tried this, that, the other. There was a point in time when I was doing 4:30 in the morning till 1, 4:30 in the morning till 4.
Oh.
We were doing 8 to 6. We were doing 8 to 3. Right now, at this point in the season, we're just doing Thursday through Sunday.
Okay.
From 6 to 3.
Perfect.
And, I can operate on that schedule by myself I don't need to use any labor.
Right.
We only need to get one food order a week. Nothing's going bad. Nothing's perishing.
Good.
And
That's good.
I can kind of just like do it by myself at this point in the season. Obviously, in the summertime, I need help.
No, yes, obviously.
And we stay open 7 days a week and longer hours. But for right now, we're currently doing Thursday through Sunday, 6 to 3.
Gotcha. And that's just currently, and that may change as we get into the winter time. And I know you're probably gonna keep her going. What are we thinking about?
Well, I do have something I have to do in December, like go to a wedding, which is pretty exciting. I'm going to be gone for a couple weeks.
Nice.
And then Christmas is going to roll around. And usually we go and visit my grandmother in Maryland for that.
Of course.
And I'd say that's about 3 weeks taken up out of the month. But people keep asking if I'm going to stay open, and people keep coming here. And I think it would be silly to not stay open.
Okay. Look at that.
People keep coming.
If they want it, if it's in demand.
I'm quite surprised, actually, on the turnout of the locals. I mean, they regularly come all the time.
Okay.
And it's I'm surprised, but I'm grateful for it because it's keeping the lights on.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, let's talk about some of the different menu items you have at Toucana. The different things. I've had a couple of things of yours, but I'll tell you what my favorite is. I've had shrimp tacos. I've had, I believe it was a fish tacos. But let me tell you what I was really, really surprised by, what I was really blown away by. The others were good, don't get it twisted, and I would order them again, but I gotta tip my hat right now to a gentleman named Lee Scarborough of Teach's Lair Marina in a tackle shop when I was discussing what I was going to have for lunch one day, and he said, they got a really good burger out there. I said, oh yeah? He said, yeah, to lay it over like a bed of fries, and I said, anyway, long story short, went out there, got me one, got him one, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely amazing. It was like a smash burger on me. Like it was that's the smash burger.
The smash burger, yeah.
Yes, dude, it was absolutely killer. Fantastic. Could eat one right now if you were open. I'd be ordering one for sure. But anyway, that was probably my favorite. What are some of the other ones that you have there that tend to be the ones that people order the most of? What are some of your favorites?
Well, the tacos are hot sellers. You know, obviously we do a gringo taco, which is like your seasoned beef, what you get at Taco Bell, right?
Yes, I'm a gringo.
Everybody loves that.
Yes.
The fish taco, Baja fish taco, is a version of these fish tacos I used to eat at Venice Beach whenever I'd be riding my skateboard around down there during the summertime.
Right, okay.
And I'd always go to this same little shack and get them, and I thought that people on Hatteras Island would love them.
Okay.
The shrimp taco is kind of like a take on Mexican street corn, grilled shrimp, and then we make our own hot sauce called Toucana Picante out of 3 different peppers. It's bright red. It's something I developed in Los Angeles when I was there.
Okay.
And then, I do some fun stuff like footlong hot dogs. I used to love to go I want to give a lot of recognition to that city because I learned a lot. That's why, we call it the LA Smash Burger. That's the burger I used to eat out there that I loved so much I wanted to sell out here because I thought that you guys might like it.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I found a footlong hot dog, and I just call it the Dodger dog because I used to go to Dodger baseball games and get 3 of them and stick them in my pockets.
It's a classic.
And walk around. Yeah, it's great.
It's a classic.
And then we do, beans and rice bowl. It's vegetarian. It's like your Chipotle bowl, but you do have an option to add protein if you want to. Fruit cocktail. I pick 3 different fruit each week, whatever seasonal. Cut them up, put them in a cup. Take the same 3 fruit, throw them in a blender with some orange juice and honey, a little bit of other seasonings, and that's the marinade for the fruit cup. So try to have something for everybody.
That's awesome. And now I like that you were saying that you'll run the early morning route like 6 a.m.-ish. For those that have booked charters out here to go fishing, you can cook them up something real quick for breakfast and send them on their way, or even maybe cook for them to take out on the boat. Is that accurate?
Yeah. So we do breakfast sandwiches in the morning on biscuits and a few other things. I started with biscuits, and then we put a biscuit and gravy on as a special, and then people kept asking me, when are you going to do burrito? We want a breakfast burrito.
Ooh.
So I ran both of those. I ran a breakfast burrito. on special every day. And what we did was we ran the biscuits and gravy and the breakfast burrito on special for about a month until I could just figure out how to incorporate it into my day-to-day routine doing prep.
Ooh.
So it was literally like, it was nothing. It was easy.
Right,
I got to a point where it was easy, and I just said, all right, I'm going to put these items on the menu. And that's how we've continued to grow our menu. A lot of the stuff on our menu, started as specials, and then I just figured out how to build them into our day-to-day routine. What we don't want to do is just, make a bunch of stuff, start with a menu. First day open, I started with a giant menu, and I went down so hard. Went home that night and changed it. I was going down. It was terrible. Like, the first day we were open, I'll never forget. But I broke it down, kind of streamlined it, and then I said, we're going to grow this. We're not just going to make something to just make it.
Right.
Everything that we do over there, I try to really develop and make the best version of it as possible before I sell it.
Okay.
Whether it's running it as a special, a few times a week, or keeping it on as like a weekly special. Then that's how we grew our menu.
There you go. I like that. You were talking about how you started out with a large menu and you realized, this is not the way to go right out the gate. And then you kind of broke it down, simplified it. Now you've made it bigger and bigger as time goes by. Don't let my wife find out that you have biscuits and gravy. She'll never leave. I'm just saying. So now let me ask you this. We're cooking. Everybody's having a good time. You've had a great turnout this year. It's been a successful first year. Accurate to say?
I would say it's exceeded expectations.
Okay. Hey, very nice. That's what we want. We want you to exceed expectations. And anybody that's listening to this podcast.
Yeah, that's what the other owners told me. I mean, so that feels nice. I guess I have to repeat what they say.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, the idea is, to grow and to get bigger and to have, more options and to be able to satisfy your customers. I mean, at the end of the day, you want people to be able to say, man, that was amazing. I want to go back there tomorrow. Or next year when they come back, they want to make sure you're still here. And they're telling their friends when they're on vacation, for example, they're going back and bragging to their friends who are coming down next week about how they need to come see you. That's the whole idea. And that's what I want people to understand is that the food there is amazing right outside of Teach's Lair here at Toucana Food Truck. And just grab yourself a bite while you're down here. I mean, it's not just, I'm going to say it like this for my buddy Lee. This is not just Teach's Lair and the parking, the boat slips and everything. This is an experience. We want you to experience Teach's Lair because there's many elements to this place. It's a good-looking guy right there. I'm looking at Lee right now.
Yeah.
That's a good-looking guy. He's wearing all black today, It's like a Johnny Cash kind of thing going. Anyway, now, you on Facebook, social media, Instagram, website? What do we got?
Yeah, we got Facebook. We got Instagram. We got Snapchat.
Oh, hey, Snapchatting.
Yeah, we got our location on Google. We're on Yelp. Check it out.
Okay. Just search Toucana.
The Facebook is Toucana Grill.
Okay.
And the Instagram, I keep the same handle as I had when I started the pop-up.
Okay.
Out on the West Coast, and it's simply just Toucana.la.
Toucana.la, okay.
And then that's how you can find it. People say, you should change it, but I like to give recognition to where, things start.
You're tipping your hat to it.
Yeah, I got to tip my hat to it.
That's awesome. That's really
cool. And, of course,
cool.
Teach's because, I am very grateful for the spot and location and for their whole, the whole Teach's family. One of the best parts about coming to work every day, when you go to work in a restaurant, you go to work in a restaurant with the other staff that is there, right? But when I come to work here every day, I get to come over here and see all these guys.
Yeah.
And all the people who hang out on the dock and the fish cleaners, the boat captains, the people who work in the dock store, tackle shop. It's fun.
It's good.
I don't know. It doesn't really get any better than that. I wouldn't want to change it.
You landed in a great location.
I don't want a real restaurant, just so you know.
Okay.
I like this.
You enjoy what you're doing right now.
It's great.
Happy customers, happy people, and just a great atmosphere all the way around.
Yeah, I mean, we're blasting music, singing over there, slinging food.
Partying.
It's great. It is.
Dude.
It's like a big party.
Hey, now you're speaking my language. Well, Mr. Tyler, I appreciate you giving me a few minutes today to talk about Toucana and all the greatness that you have going on over there as part of Teach's Lair and the atmosphere here. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
Don't you want to unwrap a bit of summertime this holiday season? It might be cold outside, but it's time to head to the Outer Banks in 2 Jan Dawson Hatteras Island romance novels that are sure to warm your heart. Find your favorite reading spot and snuggle up to an old love rekindled in storm season or a new romance after heartbreak in Hooked on You. Storm season even has a Christmas ending. Make sure Santa has these books at the top of your list or make someone's holiday OB Extra special. Available at all Outer Banks bookstores or on Amazon. Just search Jan Dawson.
Come and experience the magic of the Christmas Shop and General Store in Manio. The Christmas Shop and General Store has been an Outer Banks destination for over 57 years and was voted the #1 Christmas store in North Carolina. With rooms like the Barn, full of Christmas favorites, we'll personalize any ornament for free. In the Coastal Room, with all of your Outer Banks Christmas decorations to memorialize your trip. There's a Halloween room that will rival any haunted house. And a General Store with an assortment of homemade candies, sweets, and other local treats. The Christmas Shop is now doing wine tastings daily from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. and is offering wines by the glass to sip on while you shop. The Christmas Shop and General Store in Manio, creating magical memories with exciting experiences since 1967.
If you haven't been in the Christmas Shop, what a magical place. What a cool spot to go to. You need to go to the Christmas Shop in Manio and check it out. I'm serious. What a wonderful, wonderful place. I was telling somebody the other day, you go in there, you can't help but smiling the entire time you're in there. I'm serious. It's just a fun place. It's like a mini Disneyland or something. I don't know. But without the rides. It's just a fun spot. If you get a chance to go to the Christmas Shop in Manio, please take advantage of it and go. All right, we're going to jump into some events. And like always, these events and more can be found online at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. Click on the events tab and bada bing, bada boom, there you are. Hey, as I always like to say, let's support our local high school and middle school athletics like wrestling, basketball, swimming. Show these kids some love and support. I know the wrestling coach at Manio High School, man, he has done a lot to get those kids jazzed. He's done a lot for the youth programs with wrestling. So if you get an opportunity to go to a wrestling match, take advantage. I'm going to try to get to as many wrestling matches, basketball, all of it that I can get to this winter and late winter, late fall, whatever. I'm going to try to go to as many as I can. So with that being said, please show those athletes at the high school and middle school levels all the love and support that you can. Trivia nights, live music across the board, and karaoke nights. That's all over, and you can find them online at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. Tickets for the Dare Education Foundation's Dueling Piano Signature event, they're on sale now. Go online to DareEducationFoundation.org for more information. The Other Brothers are going to be playing at Fish Heads in South Nags Head on Friday the 15th from 6 until 9 p.m. That's always a fun time with them. I enjoy the Other Brothers. When I worked at Fish Heads, they would finish a song and I'd go, boo, boo, and Bill Ray and Doug Dino would be like, thank you, now get me a beer, and I'd be like, yes sir, and I could get him a beer. But they're always a good time when you get to hear the Other Brothers. Hey, so it's going to be a funny weekend in a way. So comedians Greg Smerdell and Andy Forrester, they're going to be at Jolly Rogers in Kildare Hills this coming Friday night the 15th from 7 to 9 o'clock. Tickets are $15 online at eventbrite.com. That's eventbrite.com. I'm actually going. I'm taking my wife. We're going to check it out and see what's going on there. So you can come sit with us if you want. It's at Jolly Rogers this coming Friday night, the 15th, from 7 until 9. Hey, another funny thing going on is the Southern Mama Comedy Tour is coming to the Pioneer Theater Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights, the 15th through the 17th. It's going to be starting at 7 o'clock each night. You can go online to thepioneertheater.com for tickets to that show or those shows. Saturday, November 16th at 6:30. The Pirates Cove Pavilion is the Beach Food Pantry's Chef's Challenge. You can go online to beachfoodpantry.org for more information and to buy tickets for that. Buffalo City Distillery in Powell's Point is going to be doing a workshop called Gnome for the Holidays. It's like a resin workshop of some sort, pouring resin, making it look all nice and pretty. That's going to be going on Tuesday, November 19th, starting at 6:30. Make sure you reserve your spot. There's more details on our website about that at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. Hey, coming up next, Wednesday the 20th at McGrath's Burger Shack in Nags Head, starting at 6 o'clock, is Trivia Nights with me. I will be your host for Trivia Night. I want to thank Greg Smerdell for getting me hooked up with that gig. I'm doing it every Wednesday night starting at 6 o'clock at McGrath's Burger Shack in Nags Head. So come on and hang out with me. Play some trivia. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's, again, every Wednesday night starting next Wednesday, November 20th at McGrath's Burger Shack in Nags Head. Ty Fleming and the fellas are going to be jamming out at Bass Knight's Lone Cedar Cafe on the Mania Nags Head Causeway Friday, November 22nd, starting at 6. You know that's going to be a great time. The sixth annual Misfits and Rejects Holiday Market is going to be going on November 23rd from 11:30 to 4 at the Outer Banks Brewing Station. There's more information about that on our website as well. And looking ahead to Saturday, November 30th, a Wine Cheese Christmas at the Wine Cheese Community Building. There'll be the parade. There's going to be a craft show. Santa Claus will be there. There's going to be all sorts of fun things going on, games and activities at the Wine Cheese Community Building. It's an all-day event on Saturday, November the 30th. That's just a little look at what's going on coming up. Again, all these events and more can be found online at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. Going to take a quick break, then we're going to wrap things up. But first, a word from our friends. Actually, Captain Marty recorded this for our friend Ricky Radcliffe at Radcliffe Marine in Bellhaven.
Hey y'all, Captain Marty here to tell you that when my friends are in the market for a new boat engine, repair, or repower, I send them to the best in the business, and that's at Radcliffe Marine in Bellhaven. Radcliffe Marine is your official Honda outboard dealer. Honda motors are designed to get you on the water fast and get you back to the dock safely and quickly. Radcliffe Marine is best known as the largest repower center in North Carolina. So when you're in the market for a new motor or you need your Honda service, go to Radcliffe Marine, 865 Highway 264, Bellhaven.
All right. As I always like to say, did I forget anything? I don't think I did, but if I did, let me know. Podcast at OuterBanksThisWeek.com, and I will be sure to include it in the next podcast. Okay, podcast at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. I want to thank Victoria and Lee and Tyler from Teachers Lair Marina being on the podcast. I love Teachers Lair. Okay, the people down there are great. It's kind of like its own little community right there. It's the last gas station before you get to the ferry dock. Fantastic people at Teachers Lair Marina. You'll find something there for there's something for everyone. I hate that phrase, but there's literally something there for everyone. It's a true phrase when I say it there, but it's just I hear it so much. People are like, there's something for everyone. But is there really? At Teachers Lair there is. So I want to thank them for coming on the podcast with me this week. Coming up in the next episode, I'm going to be talking with Coach Chad Williams from First Flight High School about the basketball tournament that he puts on every year called Good Guys versus Cancer. Now, I've known about this tournament. I've heard of it. I've seen it. But I didn't realize how big it was. Coach Chad Williams is going to join me on the podcast to talk about the Good Guys versus Cancer basketball tournament, how much money it raises, and what it does to support those that are fighting the fight with cancer here locally and others and in other places. So I'm going to have him on the podcast next week to talk about that big tournament that's coming up in the near future. Other than that, though, that's going to do it for episode 90 of the Outer Banks This Week podcast, all brought to you by Kelly's Automotive in Manio. Again, Kelly Midget, Dakota, all of them there at Kelly's Automotive. They are the gift that keep on giving, and they would like to help wrap you in a vehicle or a shed of some sort this holiday season. You can check them out online at Kelly'sOBXAuto.com. That's going to do it again for this episode of the Outer Banks This Week podcast. I'll be back next week, as I said, to talk to Coach Chad Williams about the Good Guys versus Cancer basketball tournament. So I'm out of here. Have yourself a great, wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see y'all again next week. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Y'all take care now. Bye-bye.
This has been another epic edition of the Outer Banks This Week podcast. Follow us on social media and be sure to listen every Thursday for a new episode.